Hello and welcome to the great outdoors. As you can see, we're still in the Breacon Beacons as of the last video we were, and we're still here now, and we're here up in the mountains. To be precise, the snow-covered mountains, as you would have seen. As you will also have seen, both of us, we do have our backpacks, as in our Wildcamp gear. The plan is to have some form of Wildcamp in and around this area. At present, the decision hasn't been made whether it's going to be somewhere up here possibly, or possibly somewhere a bit down lower, maybe over there somewhere or over here, I don't know yet. Or at worst case scenario, if it seems a bit too sketchy to camp around here, then there is an actual sort of farmyard campsite a little bit further down the road area for which we came in on, but we're hoping that that won't be the case. Beautiful here. It's, the weather keeps changing. 1 minute it's sort of a bit sunshine, then all of a sudden you end up with it hailing, then you end up with it raining, then it sort of goes a bit chilly and quite cold, but dry. And there's even been sort of a small amount of snow. Well, at points I would suggest there would have been more than a small amount on top of these mountains. But yeah, it wasn't what we expected. We didn't expect there was going to be snow here. We thought it was going to be wet, but not snow. It is, other than that, it is a relatively nice day. I mean, you can see, as you can see by some of the footage you would have seen, you can see for quite a while at points when the cloud lifts a little bit. I mean, over there, for argument's sake, at the moment. You can see for quite a way, it's quite up high, it's quite nice. You've got a bothy there, or a emergency shelter as they call it. But yeah, I mean, this is a reservoir. I will put the names above my head. I'm not even going to attempt to say what the names are, because I'll destroy the Welsh language, and if we have any Welsh followers, they may never follow us again. So I'll put the name above her head.
I do believe it's something like LLYN Y FAN FACH.
LLYN Y FAN FACH. Basically, I think what it is you've just got to sound a bit Klingon.
Well, it's snowing, and that's why we're going up there.
Hello and welcome back. Only just away from the bothy, to be fair, but we've done a bit of drone footage and stuff like that. Yeah, it started snowing quite heavily a minute ago. Snow. More snow, but what's even better, the sun. Blue sky right on top of the mountain. As you can see, we're aiming to be up there somewhere tonight, so we've not got too far to go. We've now come down, that's where we've come up from. As you can see, it's just breathtaking. I'm unsure what way the clouds are moving, to be fair. It looks like they're moving that way. So that little blue cloud, I mean, if that little bit of blue patch of sky just wants to stay there, that'll be handy. All right, I'll bring you back in a bit.
How's hard work, darling? I'm getting there. A bit deeper over here.
Hello and welcome back. Well, we've made it. We made it to the top of a mountain. As you could see, we were over there earlier. That is the peak as far as we're aware of that particular mountain. I will put a name above of what that particular one is. And if you move around, I'll show you. This is where we have decided to do our first ever, It's our second mountain camp, as you would have seen with the Corndu one, but predominantly we've never really been happy with calling that a mountain camp because we didn't really walk that far up. We weren't really that far from the car park, to be fair. We drove up more of that mountain than we actually climbed up, so we was never particularly happy. We've been up mountains, as you will have known. We've been up, obviously, Snowdon. We've got a video of that. And we've also been up Scarfield Pike, but we haven't got a video of that because we didn't have the channel then. That was on our honeymoon. Anyway, I'm going to take you around because this is where we've decided to pick. Now, don't get me wrong, we are right on the path. This is the path. We're going to camp just a little bit over here, but it is quite late. As you can see, the mountain's covered in snow. We're clagged in around at the moment. The clouds are moving this way, so we've got a bit of sun. We're going to crack on with getting the tent up. But I'll just show you the view. Obviously, you've got the sun there, which we might get the sun going down if we're lucky. We're up high enough. And then our other view is just over here. Again, we will try and name these mountains around here above us. We plan on having the door opening that way, so we look out over that way. And then obviously this is our other view over here, the higher point which is there. Anyway, we're quite excited. We're going to get our tent up and then we'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, see you in a bit. Hello and welcome back. The tent is now all up. You would have seen us putting the tent up. We didn't bother videoing the whole internal thing. It just takes forever, as I'm sure most of you know. And me being a bit OCD about tidiness, it has to be tidy. So we've tidied it all up. We've got a nice amount of room. As you would have seen, we're using the bigger tent that we used on our last Wildcamp, the Alpkit Visco 2 or something like that, I believe it was called. Because we decided, despite the fact of its weight, it has this massive compartment to be able to cook in, sit in as we have, get out of the wind. Predominantly we knew it was going to be quite cold while we were up here, so we wanted a tent that we could be quite comfortable with having to spend a bit of time in. Our other tents are very good. The Cloud Peak 2 is a brilliant tent, and it has got 2 vestibules, which are of a reasonable size, but you can't do an awful lot in them. It's not like this. This is a massive room. We can't say how much room this has. It's unbelievable. And for the extra weight of this tent, it's worth the extra weight. It doesn't really take up that much more room, to be fair. It does take up a little bit more room, but it doesn't take up a huge amount of room. But we managed to get up here. We've both got some kit as well to try out. Obviously, we've already tried this tent out, but we're trying it out on the mountain. It's as still as you like. It keeps snowing on and off, but at present, it's not windy. According to the last time I looked at the weather, it's not supposed to be windy, but it's a mountain, and we all know how that can change. Kelly has a new bag that I bought her here. You'll have a look at that if you want it. It's a camel bag. It's got a lot of filling in it. I believe when we looked at the label, it's got a comfort rating of -20. So, I mean, it is a big bag, but it does pack down quite small. I'll be honest, it's not a tiny bag, to be honest. It does go down to a reasonable size. I think it's going to be very warm. Kindly, we bought it off of Andy from East Coast Adventures. So if you're subscribing to his channel, you may have seen his review on said bags. He has multiple different ones. That is the thickest one there is, though. I've struggled to find a bag that has more down filling than what that one does, to be honest. It has a lot. Also, I have a new sleeping bag as well. It's supposed to go down to -6. I think that must be the comfort rating, I would imagine. It's quite thick. It's called the Elidir Exosphere -6. Or if I've completely said that wrong, that's the bag it is. It's a little bit of a different bag, to be honest. It's a stretch bag. It will stretch up to 20%. So it hugs you, but you can still pull your arms out and like that. But supposedly the idea of it is the overlapping in the filling in it is overlapped by, I think it's, I don't know, it's overlapped by a certain amount, which means when you stretch, you don't lose any of the heat out of the bag. So I'm interested in trying this. This literally has been bought on the way to this trip. It's going to be my last sleeping bag that I buy, because we did buy winter bags. They are warm, but for minus temperatures, they don't really cut it. The only way they cut it is by intertwining them with other things, and we was trying to have less to take with us this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to chill out in the tent for a little while. We're just going to lie down for like 20 minutes, something like that. Then we're going to get a coffee on, and then we're going to probably cook our food. And then, as long as it's not snowing or raining or hailing or multiple other ings, we'll go and sit outside for a bit. Again, we've not bought any chairs because we've really tried to keep down. All we have are literally these little cheap, I think they were like 90p sit mats. They're enough just to keep the cold off your bottom. And we've also got a little sort of a tarp, very small piece of tarp to put underneath them as well, which has got a very slight reflective surface on it. So we'll put that down and we'll sit down and hopefully out there and eat our food. I can't imagine we're going to spend a huge amount of time out there. We are going to try and get some night laps if we can of the sky if it's clear. Last time I looked, we were supposed to have some clear skies tonight, but again, we're on a mountain, that can change. Anyway, I'll bring you back in a bit when we're, well, boiling ourselves up a nice cup of coffee. See you in a bit.
I got an Expedition Foods spag bol for dinner. It's 310ml. This is a double serving one though.
What's it like?
And actually, lovely. It's, you know, well, as these kind of meals go, it's tasty, solid, you know, but not sawdusty. So it's good. Good stuff.
So recommended by Kelly.
Yeah.
They're about 10 quid, but to be fair, for the size, it's actually not bad.
No.
Considering the one I'm about to eat is also £10. Right, I've got a something to eat pasta bolognese. If you have a look inside, it's got chunks of pasta and that.
I think oh, there we go.
I'm about to tell you what it's like because I've not even tried it. It's better than the Decathlon one, but it's not brilliant. It's alright, it is a bit sawdusty, but it's okay, it's edible. Possibly putting the little amount of water we put in it probably wasn't the best idea. Maybe we should have put more water in it, but it is what it is. It'll fill a gap anyway. We'll bring you back in a bit. I can't see us doing too much videoing, to be fair, outside because it is bitter. Plus there seems to be hundreds of people down below.
Ooh.
Yeah, down by the bothy, there seems to be a lot of people.
You see a lot of lights. No, you can't see it on there.
There's a lot of lights down there.
Hello and welcome back. Well, since you last saw us, we've stood outside for a while. I can't remember what we've had a drink. Yeah, we met a couple of young lads up here from university doing sort of photography in the dark. I have to be honest, we saw them coming up the mountain. We could just see lights, and we were a tad concerned that we thought it might have been someone coming up to tell us we had to come back down, but yeah, it wasn't, so that was good. The lights down below, it sounds like they're a scout group. But anyway, it's almost 10 o'clock now, so we're gonna get to sleep. So night night for now. See you all in the morning.
Hello and good morning. Well, we survived. It was quite windy at one point and very cold. I would suggest a lot lower than 0, as what he said, by the fact that all the grass around me is rather frozen. And yeah, it snowed again a little bit last night. The wind changed direction. Originally it was coming from this side, hitting the tent. We did open the vents, as you can see, but even with the vents open, there's a lot of condensation in there. But the tent got a right battering this side, as you can see. The sort of tent's collapsed in on one side. I don't know if the material's stretched or whether there was so much snow and that on the side of the tent it's pushed it, because it's pushed it right into the inner. So it's like literally been pushing into the inner. So Kelly's side is quite wet. Plus Kelly had a bunged up nose, so I think there was a lot of, she was causing a lot of condensation her side as well as the tent touching the inside, because the gap normally in between the inside and the outside on this tent is quite large. But as you can see, I mean, it's melted a bit at the moment because obviously she's in there breathing, moving around, her body heat. So yeah, the tent's definitely going to need a dry when we get home. Yeah, so condensation was an issue. My side wasn't too bad, to be fair. Kelly's sleeping bag's quite wet, but she was right up against the side of the tent, whereas I tried to keep away and I kept more towards the middle. Sleeping bags, both of them were very good, despite the fact that I later on found that, despite the fact of the name of the sleeping bag that I have, has the word -6 in it. That's the limit range, not the actual comfort range of the sleeping bag, which annoyed me a little bit. Because, yeah, I thought -6 was the comfort range because I couldn't find too much information on it. But to be fair, I was very warm, and predominantly I was only wearing a t-shirt and my thermal top. I was wearing my softies and my booties, but that, you know, that's because I had no other trousers to put on, and I think if I'd have just worn my thermal trousers, I think I might have been a bit chilly. But yeah, and Kelly's sleeping bag did the job. She said it was very warm. There are a lot of people up here at the moment. It's only probably around 7:20, I think. But there's a school that camped down below where the bothy is. And there's been huge amounts of kids. You'll probably be able to see just coming out of the fog at the moment another group of children. But yeah, there's a lot of them, we've noticed. Anyway, I will bring you back in a bit. I do plan on making some coffee. Kelly is packing down inside the tent as we speak, and I'm going to make the coffee and possibly make some food. So I'll bring you back in a bit. Hello and welcome back. Just made us, well, a hot chocolate we've decided to go with. We've got coffees. I don't mind the coffees, they're all right. They're Kenko 3-in-1 things. Kelly doesn't like sugar in her coffee, so, and they are quite sweet, but then we haven't tried them with slightly bigger mugs. We tried them yesterday with very small little mugs, and they were quite sweet, but these are bigger. But I've gone with a hot chocolate, which is nice and quite needed because it's quite cold. Kelly's packed down pretty much most of the tent. I'm going to get in there in a minute and change into my clothing rather than into my sleep clothing. And then we're probably going to start to pack down the tent itself. It's going to be a lot of drying out when we get home. But that won't be till tomorrow because we're staying on for the day today in Breacon itself, and then making our way back late this afternoon back to Essex. It's been an amazing time, to be fair. We've had a proper good time of it. We've camped on a mountain, we've seen lots of waterfalls. You know, we were talking about it earlier. I mean, coming here in February was a bit of an and ah for us because of the weather. Because predominantly we don't, you know, we've always said that we're kind of a bit fair weather campers. I mean, we did always say we'd never camp in the winter, but we do camp in the winter now, probably more so than the summer. But you know, we've always said we'll never camp in snow. Obviously that's changed today. But you know, we planned on coming down here to the Breacon Beacons now for, well, we'd said about it last year, because we try and do, as a sort of a couple, we try and do one sort of big adventure a year just for me and her without the kids. Last year was supposed to be the South Downs Way, but it was so wet. You'll see that short video on our account that, you know, we gave up trying to do that because, well, predominantly everything was soaked. We were soaked, our feet were wet, and you know what happens once I mean, our feet were wet within the first 10 minutes of being out because we wore walking shoes that weren't, well, walking shoes, didn't wear gaiters, didn't wear anything, just wore shorts, so water was just running straight down his shoes. It was quite dreadful. But this was our big thing for this year, and we were going to do it later on in the year. But as with children, as you all know, I'm sure if you've got kids, it's quite difficult to come up with times when you can do it. And this particular, you know, it's kids half term at the moment. So the bigger boys went to their fathers, and the little man's gone to stay with his nan and granddad. So we decided, why not do it now? We've got a few days to be able to get up here. Let's go for it. But I mean, we looked at the weather and what it was going to be like. You know, it suggested it was going to be wet. Wales typically is wet. But we didn't really look at the weather before that, the week before, when obviously it had snowed. And well, when I looked, it just said it was going to rain, but as you saw yesterday, it did snow. It snowed a bit last night as well, not a huge amount, but you can see by the side of the tent, that won't just be the snow from falling out of the sky, so that'll be what was on the ground as well, blowing up onto the tent, because as I say, it was quite windy. As I said earlier, you can see how saggy this side of the tent is. So we didn't pitch it particularly well, but more so on this side was because everywhere we were trying to put stakes, there seemed to be rocks, which is obviously a big problem when you camp on a mountain. There's a lot of rocks. Anyway, I'm going to finish up our coffee, well, our hot chocolates, shall we say, and then start packing down the rest of the stuff, including the tent. I'll bring you back in a little while. This is our buffer we use for wiping down the tent every time we use it because it's wet. As I'm wiping it down, obviously there's a lot of snow and ice on it, and what is water is freezing instantly on the cloth. Imagine then wringing this out, but you can't wear your gloves because they're not waterproof when they're only gloves you have. That's how cold it is. And on top of all that, I have wiped the tent down the best I can be bothered. Look at that ice formation, and that is on all of the guidelines this size of the tent.
There's the bits that have fallen off.
Hello and welcome back. Well, as you can see, the tent is all down, bags all packed. Just actually, quick thing, why we remember, because otherwise I only end up forgetting. These rainproof covers, you can see the name on the back.
Hang on. Ooh. Okay.
Well worth buying. They're on Amazon. They come in multiple different sizes. It's either 2 or 3 different sizes. We bought these as an oversized backpack cover for these bags that we're using at the moment, due to the fact we found with the original ones, if you put anything on the outside of the bag, as soon as you put the original one on over your bag, it didn't fit properly. We massively noticed this when we briefly tried to do some of the South Downs Way. The bag cover just kept blowing off. But these are brilliant because not only are they oversized, which you can get any oversized one, they're about $8.99, so they're not the cheapest of bag covers, they're cheaper ones out there. But they have straps that go across both ways, and they strap up behind you with little clips. And they're also elasticated, so they hug the bag as well, and you can tighten the straps up around your bag, so then you end up with a really tight seal. It did rain and snow a lot yesterday, as you saw, and our bags were bone dry. So, well, obviously other than your straps here, but there's no way you can keep them dry. But yeah, so look out for them. Just type that name into Amazon and you should find them. But we definitely 100%. They may be £9 for a cover, but they work really well. You can then buy one slightly bigger. I mean, if you don't have a lot on the outside of your bag, I still think they're probably worth buying over the ones you already have. You buy the right size for your bag. The way they clip on, I think, is a game changer personally. I've never seen a cover like it, so we're well happy with them. But anyway, as you can see, tent is down, as I say. As we always say, and everyone says, leave no trace. All you can, well, other than the fact you probably can just see the line of where our tent was, not even the grass looks that flat, to be completely honest with you. So, you know, we've got all our rubbish that's attached to Kelly's bag. And yeah, we're going to start making our way down. We're not going to quite end it here yet, because we plan on getting to the bottom and then having a bit of a drink and something to eat. So we'll probably end it down by the bothy. So it'll almost be ending the video where we started it. Well, where we started the talking to you anyway. So anyway, we'll see you all in a bit. There's not much to enjoy at the moment, but looking wise, it's quite cloudy. Hello and welcome back. Well, we've finally finished our trek down the mountain. Wow, there was some spectacular views. The sun's come out, blue sky, and the reflection off of this reservoir is absolutely spectacular. I've never seen anything like it, to be fair. This sort of couple of days away, we have seen some proper special things. The waterfalls, if you've watched that video. If not, we'll put a link in the description. You need to go and watch that because they were well, out of this world, to be honest. I've never had my mind just fed so much information. There's just so much to look at. I mean, we've seen mountains before and they've been gorgeous. If you've watched other videos, you would have seen that, you know, we have been on other mountains, but this is one special place. Literally just looks like a painting behind us. I don't think the camera can do it justice. Well, anyway, enough of me rabbiting. I really hope you've enjoyed the video as much as we've enjoyed videoing it and being in it, being part of it. But hopefully this gives other people out there the inkling to go out and, you know, do your wild camping, your hiking up a mountain, because we're no athletes. You know, we have problems. I have a knee problem, Kelly has a hip problem, foot problem, knee problem, back problem. She goes to the chiropractor regularly with a lot of her stuff, but she still manages to make it. You know, we're not professionals. We don't fully know what we're doing. we learn most of the stuff we do by watching other YouTubers out there. This place was brought up by a YouTuber called Liam Brown. You should look for his thing. I'll put maybe a link below to the video where he comes here, because obviously he came a different time of year. You know, we get inspiration from a lot of YouTubers, and you know what we kind of hope is, even if we only inspire one of you people out there to go out and do these things, you know, we feel like we've done something. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you could like and subscribe, and any comments, as we always say, are always welcome. Anyway, we'll see you all in the next adventure. Bye for now.